and tomatoes and other produce, but by the time it gets back to the community, it's not fresh anymore. But we have to take it. Well, you need to stock up on milk and other foods. Yes, sometimes things are ferried in by helicopter. Oh, I'm sorry. I see the time is going by quickly, but I'm happy that you're here and for addressing these issues. Thank you.
Okay, we have our special guest, MP Tamara Cronus, please, from Nanaimo Ladysmith, I think.
That's correct, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much for welcoming me to this committee. Mr. Jones, my questions are also going to be for you. As I was listening to you speak, I was hearing echoes to some degree of life in my own riding. I often tease my colleagues that they have planes, trains, and automobiles, but we add seaplanes, ferries, and helicopters to be able to get here. And even Nanaimo, where I live, is actually the largest city on Vancouver Island at 100 and a little bit thousand people, and yet people are surprised that I often cannot take a cell phone call in my driveway, and that I frequently have to pull over to the side of the road to finish conversations with people in order to have them. And I see my colleague Madame Gill nodding. And I just want to give you an opportunity. If you had an urban federal MP, if they spent 3 days in your area and saw everything that you wanted to see, what do you think would surprise them the most?
Well, thank you for your question. And 3 days we may not get out of the community due to transportation services. So I would start off with a little. What they would see? They would see 14 communities on the lower North Shore, which 7 of which are not connected by any road system. They're connected through helicopters, sea boat taxis, and so on and so forth. And you would see that the everyday struggle that is to get just everyday essential services, food as one, getting out to medical appointments as number 2, getting out beautiful scenery. Let's add that the Lower North Shore is one beautiful place to come. Like I'll give my example right now. This is my 5th day on the western edge of the Lower North Shore, and I've been on 3 planes, 3 helicopter rides, and 1 boat ride. And I still got to go to Kaygasco after this today, which means I got to fly to Natashquan because there's no airport in Kaygasco, and have to come back to Kaygasco via road. So that's the realities of living here. So what they would see would be people that are that want to grow their own food, make a sustainable place to grow and hunt and get back to fishing. As Mr. Murdoch Flowers has mentioned, like we do have those communities there. They want to get back into the ground. I grew up here, and my Sunday dinner was the treat of getting a chicken or a piece of pork, but the rest of the time it came from the water and the land. So getting back to that, and as we start to become more agricultural knowledged, we have the grounds to grow it, but we don't have the grounds to store it. So we have all these projects, but when we come down to ask for a community storage shed, a cold storage to keep the fruits and vegetables that we can grow, that's where our problems come into.
That's a great place for me to ask my second question for you, which is that we too are very focused on food sovereignty and food security where I live, and there are many federal programs focused on subsidizing costs, but we hear over and over again for people living everywhere in Canada, especially sometimes in remote communities, that people would like to be able to provide for themselves. So I just want to give you a chance, based on your experience, to talk a little bit about what policies would help remote communities like yours become less dependent on subsidies and more economically self-sufficient.
First of all, I would say that I spent a day yesterday at Teta la Baleine, which is another isolated community here, and there's this fantastic lady there who has a farm called Ricolet, and she has all of this land thrashed, ready to grow food, but wants to put in a subsidy to build a cold storage and a preparation unit, so she can hold the food all winter. She can grow carrots, potatoes, and turnips, the root vegetables that we have. And the biggest fundamental obstacle she was running into is that she applied for the subsidy. She gets the word back. Yeah, this is great. This is great. This is great. And this false hope gets built up, and then all of a sudden it vanishes. So I guess my ask would be that if we don't fit the criteria, say no right away so we can find other avenues, because we're waiting sometimes months on responses. If the answer is no, let it be no. We're all adults here. We can handle the no, but let us turn to go and get our own things. Whether we can go to the private and come back with go back to the private and have the private build it and we rent it from them. But we're constantly chasing these subsidies, and if there's no money available, let us know. We are entrepreneurial. We want to feed ourselves. We want to do these things, but we are always roadblocked by, hey, why don't you apply for the subsidy? And then it never comes.
Thank you very much. And next we have the MP from Labrador.